Let me bring Congressman Eric Swalwell. I teased you already. I'm glad you made it to a phone. Thanks for joining us. We came on the air just as we learned that the committee on which you sit, the House Judiciary Committee, has issued subpoenas for Annie Donaldson. She's Don McGahn's former chief of staff, and Hope Hicks. Tell us what you expect the response to be.
Good afternoon, Nicole. I mean, these are front row witnesses to a double-digit obstructor. Bob Mueller and his team laid out at least 10 instances in which the president obstructed, and these two individuals were front and center. And, they have a story to tell. I was a part of the interview team with Hope Hicks over a year ago when she came before the House Intelligence Committee, and she has a very, very deep memory and recall of everything the president has done. I was really struck by that. Where others who have known him for decades said to us over and over, I don't recall. Hope Hicks said the opposite. She did recall, and so it'd be very helpful to know what she saw.
Congressman Robert Costa is at the table with me. He has a question for you.
Congressman, you just said Hope Hicks has knowledge of, quote, everything. We all know we want to hear from Don McGahn about the president's decision to ask about firing Mueller, whether that would be possible. What's the one thing, the top line, if you get her in front of your committee, that you want to find out from Hope Hicks?
It's a question that I asked her on the House Intelligence Committee, and she refused to answer, which is, did the president ever tell you to lie for him? And did you ever lie for him? And that was a very, I would say, it was a flashpoint in the interview. She asked to step outside for 10 minutes, and then she came back inside and refused to answer the question. And then I asked if Donald Trump Jr. had asked her to lie, and she refused again. And she just started shaking her head and saying, I refuse to answer. I refuse to answer. And I asked her about Ivanka Trump, if she had ever asked her to lie, and she said, I refuse to answer. So it clearly struck a nerve, because she came across as truthful throughout the interview, but that line of questioning, whether she was asked
Are you referencing, though, the plane flight on Air Force One about the Don Jr. meeting?
No, I asked her broadly, has the president or candidate Trump ever
I know,
asked
but are you trying to figure out about the statement?
Yes, of course. We were trying to zero in on the Trump Tower cleanup between the president and his son, but we just also sensed that if he'd asked her to lie about one thing, he probably had asked her to lie about a lot of things. And that was she clearly did not want to lie. That's because if he had never asked her to lie, she would have been truthful and said no. It was clear to us that there was a lot she was seeking to protect.
Congressman, let me ask you, I think the analysis on where the Democrats stand right now is really in two camps. One, people think that Nancy Pelosi is playing this smart, that she's proceeding with caution, keeping a line of communication open with this White House around other policy priorities for the Democrats. Other parts of the Democratic base and caucus agitating for more aggressive action. Are the subpoenas today an effort to placate the side of the Democratic Party eager for more aggressive accountability from this White House that has made clear and has made so clear in interviews in Phil and Robert's newspaper and others that their strategy is to give you nothing?
The subpoenas are an effort to get the information that we need in a recognition that the president and his team are outnumbered and that we have the subpoena power now, whereas we didn't before. But the courts are on our side, and we saw that in this week's court ruling. And we expect now, as all of these subpoenas go to court, you're going to continue to see that we've got the subpoenas, we've got the courts, and the administration is going to either have to continue to be lawless and not comply or follow the law. But we believe the law is on our side. Now, as to impeachment, I have advocated, Nicole, that there's a third way here, that we should first impeach the Attorney General. He's the front door obstructor to the information that we need, and he's refusing to turn over the Mueller report and other documents. So we should move on him, show that he's not above the law, and also send a signal to the president that his lawlessness also will be held accountable, but we're going to start with the Attorney General.
What is a sign of accomplishment or a sign of progress on any of those three tracks? I mean, I think that the White House feels like they're winning.
They may be, winning day to day in that they have empty desks in our committee hearings, but the days are coming where they're going to be facing court order after court order to turn over documents or provide testimony, and the American people are going to see more and more of just how lawless they are. And most individuals know that if they get a court order, you have to go to court. You can't just ignore it and say, I don't want to answer to that. And I think in the court of public opinion, that's not going to fly with everyday Americans who have to follow the laws themselves.
Congressman Eric Swalwell, we're so grateful he jumped on the phone
Thanks,
and
Nicole.
spent some time with us.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.